Welcome to the second episode of a series. Today we face a terrifying, invisible enemy. A foe so small you can't see it, so small you probably never felt its effects. But it's always with you. Inside you right now, in every single cell, are fragments of viruses that infected your ancestors millions of years ago. Not dead, not gone, just waiting. Like graffiti scrawled on the blueprint of life. Here's the mind-twisting truth. 8% of your DNA is viral. That means you are not fully human, you are part virus already. Everything you do, everything you think, feel, or control is affected by this. You think you're in control. But what if you aren't? Now imagine a new virus, not one that kills, one that edits, one that could rewrite you from the inside out. A virus that doesn't spread death but transformation. Humanity wouldn't fight it because humanity wouldn't even notice it. This is the hidden virus that could reprogram your DNA. Now imagine this virus spreading, not through bites or air, but through sex. What was once a rare mutation becomes a common trait. The virus integrates into your DNA, changes the way your cells work, and slowly, generation by generation, it changes who you are. Your instincts, your memories, even your thoughts could be rewritten. You wouldn't know it was happening until it was too late. So this is the new enemy, a virus that changes everything by changing nothing. A virus that makes you wonder, am I really me? Do I have free will? Or am I just a puppet dancing to a viral beat? Are our decisions truly our own, or are they echoes of ancient infections? For millions of years, viruses have been our shadow, our silent partner in evolution. But this is different. This is a new threat. A threat that doesn't come from the outside but from within. A threat that whispers in your ear, I am you and you are me. You have to choose, adapt or die. Viruses are not alive. Not in the traditional sense. They don't eat, they don't breathe, they don't think. They are packets of genetic code wrapped in protein. And yet some scientists believe that viruses are the oldest architects of life on Earth. They were here before cells were, and they've been forcing mutations into them ever since. Some scientists even believe that viruses sparked evolution itself, pushing life forward by pure chaos, by pure destruction. Every great leap in evolution may have been pushed by viral pressure, like when smallpox came to our ancestors and killed them by the millions. Take HIV, which may have reshaped societies across continents. Take polio, which terrified entire generations. But here's the secret. Those are the ones that didn't stay, those are the ones that left. The real story is the ones that stayed, the ones that didn't leave. When a virus stays in our DNA, we can't even tell. It becomes part of our genome, a permanent resident. And scientists can only spot it with powerful microscopes. Like this one called a retrovirus. It's an ancient virus that infected our ancestors millions of years ago and never left. It's actually still around today. In fact, it's right here. That's right. You carry a fragment of ancient viral DNA inside of you right now, a relic from a long ago invasion. So do all viruses leave after they infect us? No. Some integrate into our DNA. They sneak their code into your genetic library, and sometimes that code stays there forever. And that's why viruses have the potential to be so much more than just disease. They are also, believe it or not, a driving force behind evolution. In the grand scheme of things, we wouldn't be here without them. Millions of years ago, a virus like this one integrated into the DNA of a single cell. And that may have been the very beginning of what would eventually become all of us. This piece of viral DNA became a placenta, a structure that allowed mammals to grow inside their mothers. Without it, mammals couldn't exist. Humans could not exist. A virus gave us the ability to make babies. Now, obviously, that's a very, very long time ago. And while viruses have been shuffling our DNA for millions of years, for most of human history, we didn't even know they were here. We only began to uncover this viral past within the last 150 years. Smallpox, for example, has been killing humans since the dawn of civilization. It was the world's first great killer, claiming more victims than war, famine, and natural disasters combined. And as it turns out, it was also our first teacher. Smallpox taught us about viruses, about vaccines, about herd immunity. It showed us how to beat back the darkness with science. Then, in the 19th century, researchers began to understand that something strange was happening in the cells of people living with HIV, a virus that causes AIDS. Their immune cells had been infected. But unlike other viruses, HIV integrated its genetic material into the DNA of those cells. It was a discovery that shook the scientific world and changed everything we thought we knew about viruses. It turned out this wasn't a one-off. Other viruses were doing the same thing. They were leaving little pieces of themselves inside of us. And in the decades since then, researchers have uncovered thousands of these viral fossils in our DNA, each one telling the story of a long-ago infection. They've found viruses that jump between species, viruses that integrate into your DNA and never leave, viruses that lay dormant for decades before waking up again, viruses that turn their host cells into factories for making more viruses, and some viruses that help fight other viruses. Our DNA is littered with the evidence of these ancient battles, a constant reminder of the forces that have shaped us. So if viruses have shaped our past this much, what will they shape next? We know that viruses evolve quickly, and they're already changing the world as we know it. With every mutation, they become better at infecting us, better at evading our immune systems, better at hiding from our medicines. The big question is, how will we adapt? Will we learn to live alongside viruses to fight them off with new vaccines and medicines? Or will they continue to ravage our bodies and devastate our species? We don't know the answer, but one thing is clear: the future will be determined by the virus. You can't fix stupid, you can't fix evil, and now you can't fix genes. If a virus that changes your DNA gets loose in the population, there is no vaccine, no quarantine, no treatment that will stop it. We are talking about the genetic threat. And today we have a story that should set off alarm bells. A lab in China has created a synthetic virus with synthetic DNA. They used it to infect mice, and guess what happened? The mice became aggressive. The virus had edited their genes. Now think about what we are dealing with here. A virus that turns you into a murder mouse. How does it do that? By switching off certain genes. Genes control everything. They control how you look, how you behave. Every trait, every characteristic is controlled by these genes. What if a virus could switch off those genes? I'm going to simplify this story, but let me tell you how this Chinese virus affects the behavior of mice. There are certain areas in the brain that control violence. One such area is called the hypothalamus. The virus switches off a part of this hypothalamus. As a result, the mice turn violent. Their killing instinct kicks in. They attack other mice without any provocation. They kill other mice just for fun. They don't even eat them. In other words, this virus creates an army of zombies. Is this the stuff of nightmares? Well, welcome to the nightmare, because this is not science fiction. In labs today, we already use viruses as genetic tools. The CRISPR gene editing system, it's built from viral machinery. Gene therapies, they're delivered through modified viruses. We are already using viruses as editing pens for life. But what if the pen slipped out of our hands? What if the tool escaped? Imagine a virus that doesn't make you cough, that doesn't kill you, it makes you obey. This is the danger of a virus weapon. It's not the death that you should be worried about, it's the transformation. An entire generation wiped out, yes, that is bad. But an entire generation rewritten, that is worse. Think of North Korea. Kim Jong-un can control his people because he controls their minds. He can brainwash them because their genes have been rewritten. The virus could insert false memories. It could silence rebellion. A generation brought up to salute the rising sun. They call it the ultimate form of population control. Who is behind this research? A scientist by the name of Ralph Baric. He runs a lab at the University of North Carolina. His work is being funded by the US National Institutes of Health. So far, so good. But guess who else is funding him? The Wuhan Institute of Virology. That is where this virus was created. Why did they create it? To understand how viruses evolve, how they jump species, how they infect humans. And to be clear, this is not a natural virus. This is a Frankenstein virus. It has been made in a lab. It is a mix of bat coronavirus and mouse hepatitis virus. What does that say about the intent? If a virus can be created in a lab, then why not weaponized in a lab? If a virus can be designed to kill mice, then why not humans? We are talking about a new kind of biological warfare. What's the origin of the story? China. Where do stories from China end? With a food shortage, with empty shelves, with angry mobs. Look at what's happening in Sri Lanka. People are protesting, but they're also looking for food. They're eating whatever they can find. Even the weeds in railway tracks. China is the biggest producer of weeds in the world, ironically, because it produces most of the world's food. China is facing a major heat wave. Temperatures have broken 1-century records. Crops have withered. Farmers are in despair. Meat is rotting. Eggs are rotting. China needs food, but it is set to lose lots of it. So naturally, it is turning to science. State-run media has published a series of articles. They talk about how China can fight back, how it can produce more food despite the heat wave. The articles talk about genetic engineering. They talk about the benefits of GM crops, genetically modified crops. This is not rocket science. We know what GM stands for. It means gain of function. These studies are all about making viruses stronger, deadlier, more transmissible. The Wuhan Institute of Virology has published many such studies. In 2015, it said a virus could be created to target specific genes. In 2017, it said a virus could be modified to spread faster in the air. And in 2019, it said a virus could be designed to survive on surfaces like doorknobs. And guess which virus was this research focused on? SARS-CoV. Do you see the pattern here? China has been studying the same virus for decades. Why does it need this research? Perhaps to answer one question, how do you make the perfect virus? A virus that doesn't make you cough, that doesn't kill you, but a virus that changes you, that rewrites your DNA. We told you this story to highlight the fact that bioweapons are not some distant threat. They're not some Cold War relic. Bioweapons are alive and evolving, changing the way wars are fought. I'm not here to scare you. In fact, I'm here to introduce you to the most important architect of all. It's not what you think, it's not even alive. We think of viruses as invaders, things that threaten us, harm us, sometimes kill us. But viruses don't just threaten us, they create us. Look closer. Deep within your cells, tucked away in your DNA, lie the instructions for making you. The code is written in 4 letters, A, T, C, G. But hidden within that sequence are other codes, viral codes, leftovers from ancient infections that have become part of your genome. These viral genes, they still wake up. They activate randomly, sometimes helping us, sometimes harming us. A ghost code flickering back to life. Some viral DNA helps the immune system fight cancer. Other bits cause neurological disorders. And some do, we don't know. What if the next stage of human evolution doesn't come from AI or space exploration or war, but from within? A quiet revolution of viral awakening. You aren't a single organism. You are a library of life forms stitched together over billions of years, with viruses acting as editors, snipping out genes and inserting their own. You are not the author of your own story. You are the book. And here's the plot twist. We've been infected with stories about stories. We think we're in control, that our choices, our actions, our thoughts define us. But what if those stories, those choices, those thoughts were written by someone else? What if we're all just characters in a grander narrative? A cosmic horror story written by viruses, by the very things we think make us us. It's enough to drive a person crazy. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the virus wants us to question everything, to look at the world through new eyes, to see the connections between all living things, to realize that we are all of us, the virus, the host, the editor, the book, the story, all of it, part of one grand narrative. So the next time you feel a cold sore coming on, or you get a paper cut, or your computer crashes, take a moment to appreciate the virus. It might be trying to tell us something, trying to remind us that we are not in control, that we are not alone, that we are not even ourselves, that we are all of us. The virus, the host, the editor, the book, the story, all of it. 1. Now zoom out. Imagine alien scientists watching Earth. What would they see? Not humans, not really. They'd see a planet-sized experiment in viral evolution. They'd see viruses using us, not the other way around. They'd see a planet covered in cages. Inside those cages, virus particles locked up tight. But every so often one of them breaks free, jumps into a human host, and gets carried all around the world. And then when the conditions are right, it jumps into a new host species, a new viral jump host. That's what they'd see. Maybe we are not fighting viruses at all. Maybe viruses are using us to spread themselves, to reach further, to leap into space through our rockets, our satellites, our dreams of colonization. To an alien intelligence, the real rulers of Earth aren't kings or presidents or algorithms. They are viruses. Humanity is just their latest tool. I wrote a book about what an alien intelligence might think about our universe. And in that book, I imagined an alien anthropologist who comes to Earth to study human civilization. And she keeps wondering, where are the hyper-intelligent apes? Where are the megabrains? Why is this planet run by knuckle-dragging meat-eaters? And then finally she realizes it's because the real power on this planet is in the invisible world, in the viruses, in the microbes that control the minds of men. From the alien point of view, it's easy to see how viruses have dominated Earth. Every major transition in our history has been driven by them. When life on Earth began to get more complex, viruses jumped species and brought down entire civilizations. They forced evolution to press the reset button again and again and again. And from their point of view, it's easy to see how we humans are just the latest in a long line of viral jump hosts. Our entire history, from the first time that a virus particle is expelled from a human body until now, is a byproduct of viral creativity. Fire, empires, the internet, it's all just a scaffold for the virus to climb to the next level. They'd watch us launch rockets to the moon and they'd say, look at how the virus is using these creatures to spread its genetic material into space. The virus doesn't care about the big picture. It only cares about getting into the next host, and when there are no more hosts left on this planet, it will use us to find new ones. So maybe it's time to stop fighting the virus and start thinking about what an alien intelligence might think about us. Maybe it's time to stop being afraid of viruses and start being fascinated by them. Because without viruses, we wouldn't be here. Without viruses, there would be no human history. Without viruses, there would be no us. There's a test, it's called the mirror test, and it will change everything you think you know about the nature of reality. Are you ready? Here goes. Now, look inward. Ask yourself, if a hidden virus were reprogramming humanity right now, how would you even know? Think about your thoughts, your fears, your ambitions. How many of them are actually yours? Science shows that viruses in our DNA can alter brain function. Some studies link viral remnants to schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, even sudden personality changes. Imagine if entire societies shifted not because of culture or free will, but because of viral awakenings. Think of moments in history when humanity seemed to leap forward, like the sudden burst of creativity during the Renaissance, the sudden wave of violence during the French Revolution. Were those human choices? Or were they viral codes firing, altering the very essence of who we are, turning us against each other, turning us on each other? The most terrifying question of all, who are you? If 8% of you is already virus, what if it's controlling you right now? What if it's behind the decisions you make, the things you think, the things you feel? And here's the most frightening part. There might be an antidote, a way to break free from the viral programming, but it's only available to a few. They're called the seekers. They're a small percentage of the population. They have a rare genetic mutation. It makes them immune to viral control. You can find them in the most dangerous places on Earth, where viruses mutate and thrive, places like the Congo rainforest, the Siberian tundra, the Amazon River. The seekers go there to learn ancient rituals, to unlock hidden potential, to develop extraordinary abilities. And they've been watching you. You've probably seen them. They're the ones with the strange tattoos, the ones who seem to know things, to have abilities you can't explain. Some people call them crazy, unhinged, even demonic. But what if they're the sane ones? What if the virus has made you the monster? What if it's turned you against them? This is the terrifying reality we're living in. A world where the line between human and virus is blurred, where the enemy could be within you, where the battle for our very souls has already begun, and you can choose a side. Will you join the seekers? Will you fight for your very humanity? Or will you stay the same? Will you do nothing? There's no right answer. There's no easy choice. But one thing's for sure, the fate of humanity hangs in the balance. Are you ready to face the truth? To look into the mirror and see what's inside? If you want to find out more about the mirror test, if you want to learn about the Seekers and their mission to save humanity, you must seek them out. You'll find them in the most unexpected places. They're hiding in plain sight. All you have to do is open your eyes and look around. The clock is ticking. The virus is here. The choice is yours. Choose wisely. So here's the choice. You can pretend this isn't happening. You can scroll past, eat your food, live your life, and hope your code stays stable. Or you can adapt, learn how viruses work, understand biotechnology, pay attention to the experiments that could spill into the world. Because the future may not be human versus virus. The future may be human-virus hybrids, new forms of life that make us look primitive. The hidden virus is already here. The rewriting has already begun. The only question left is simple. Will you survive the edit or be erased by it? The choice has always been the same: adapt or die. I thought I'd start today with something different, a kind of choose-your-own-adventure intro where you get to decide whether you want to hear this message or not. But then I realized there's no point in even asking because you clicked on the video. You're already curious, and curiosity, my friends, killed the cat. But for you, it just might save your life. You see, we're living through an unprecedented time. Not just in terms of pandemics, but of scientific discovery. We're learning things about biology and technology that were once relegated to science fiction. For example, did you know that in some places it's legal to patent a human gene? That's right, you can own the rights to someone's DNA. Now I'm sure you've heard of CRISPR, the revolutionary gene editing technology that allows scientists to alter DNA sequences. It's precise, efficient, and relatively inexpensive. No wonder the global gene editing market was valued at over $20 billion in 2021 and is projected to reach nearly $90 billion by 2026. But what does this mean for you? If you think this is just about science and business, you're missing the point. This is about survival. The ability to control and manipulate life at its most fundamental level is a superpower. Whoever wields it will have the upper hand in the future. And guess what? We're already behind. The race to rewrite the code of life has already begun. The question is, will you participate or be left behind? If you think this sounds dramatic, just consider the implications. With gene editing, we can create new viruses, bacteria, and other pathogens that are resistant to our drugs and vaccines. We can modify crops and livestock to our liking, but also unleash new diseases on them. We can enhance the traits of some people while weakening others. The possibilities are endless and terrifying. If you don't believe me, just look at what happened in the past century. In 1918, a Spanish flu pandemic killed more than 50 million people worldwide. Then in 1957, the Asian flu pandemic killed more than 1 million people. And from 2002 to 2004, the SARS pandemic affected over 8,000 people. And let's not forget the recent COVID-19 pandemic, caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. It has infected over 75 million people and killed over 1.5 million. These are just some of the examples of how viruses have affected human history. They are a constant threat to our health and well-being, but they are also a source of incredible discoveries and innovations because viruses are everywhere. They are in the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat. They are in us. We have co-evolved with them for millions of years, and we have learned to harness their power for good. Viruses are not just pathogens, they are also tools. They are vectors, factories, sponges, particles, probes, graveyards, libraries, chips. They are everything and anything. They are the ultimate frontier of biotechnology, and those who explore them will reap the rewards. That's why you should pay attention to this channel. Here I'll teach you everything you need to know about viruses and biotechnology to survive and thrive in the future. You'll learn how viruses work, how they infect cells, how they replicate, how they mutate. You'll also learn how to protect yourself from viral diseases, how to use viruses as tools for gene editing, how to create vaccines and antivirals. You see, knowledge is power. And when it comes to viruses, knowledge is life. Don't be fooled by those who say viruses are not important or that they are just bad news. Viruses are essential to life on Earth. They are the driving force of evolution, the source of genetic diversity, the engine of innovation. Don't miss out on this opportunity to learn from the best. Join me on this journey of discovery and enlightenment. Subscribe now and never miss a beat. The future is viral and it's yours for the taking. The choice has always been the same. Adapt or die, choose wisely.